point is, how confident are you that you could convince this Malay people that they could break the taboo and accept DAP?
No, I can't guarantee anything. You know, in life, you do what you can. I believe in that. You know, when people ask me, you know, why you want to do this or why you want to do that, it's because I think it has some usefulness. You know, I think my presence in DAP enables me to have a platform, so that when the Malays ask me, and I can say to them, yeah, I'm still alive. You know, DAP hasn't taken anything from me yet. So I can speak from experience. So I think that adds value.
Well, it's interesting that you say you cannot guarantee anything because, you know that in your recent blog post, there's some good in me. You claim to be much more experienced in opposition politics and much more open.
I think I understand a lot better.
A lot better in the workings of it?
Yes.
So, but you know, just a day after you announced you joining DAP, then you said that Tun Mahathir is the de facto opposition leader, and there were a lot of other leaders coming out to refute this.
Yeah, because this is all about not understanding the context of which the question was posed to me.
Oh.
You see, I was interviewed by, I think, Malay Mail online or something like that. They asked me, in the context of the opposition, it's like there's no leadership and nobody stands. So I said, you know, we have leaders. So I give Mahathir as an example. He is like, although there's not formal appointment, you see, whenever we have a function, he always speaks last. We always give him that honor that a leader would have. So I said he's effectively our leader. So I was just saying that, not trying to tell that Anwar is not a leader or Waza is not a leader. I wasn't thinking of them at all. I was just saying that Mahathir is a leader, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know why people get so upset about that.
But you're not saying that he is the leader for opposition.
Well, no. The leader of the opposition is one of the leaders. I mean, you know, that's what I meant, because in the context of the question. Nobody has appointed him leader. But whenever he always sits in the main seat, so I assume that he's the leader. So even if, you know, they always put him in front there, they always put in a position that a leader would sit. So I judge that, to me, that is a leadership. And I think he has provided leadership. So I see nothing wrong by saying, you know. But opposition politics like that, you know, everybody is sometimes sensitive, you know. But I understand, but it's no big deal. You know, people can rebuke me, people can criticize me, no problem. I'm used to it.
It is interesting because you said you don't know DAP will, and now you're joining them. You have previously joined a few other parties. So they might
I have not joined. This is again. This
another
is like
fallacy.
This is a fallacy, like I'm rich or wealthy. This is a fallacy created by people who have nothing to hit me with. You see, I'm not sack me, you know. You cannot blame me because they sacked me for my views on ISA. So I did not leave UMNO. You know, I was sacked. Okay, I only left one party, which is PKR.
Yeah.
PKR. Now I'm in DAP. In between, there's Kita. I wanted to set it up in case nobody wants me, and I have my own party. You know, and I still have Kita. So if I cannot stand under any of the more established names, I'll stand under Kita, for example. But that's just a contingency. So I only left one party, PKR, to DAP. And there are a lot of people in this country who left once, not more than twice. In politics, you know, it's not so straightforward. Sometimes you come in different circumstances at different times. It's no big deal. But people trying to discredit me because they have nothing else to discredit me. So they're trying to make me look like, oh, he's not serious, he's a joker. You know, Nazri says he's a comedian. This is how they describe me, you know. They just name calling me because I'm solid and everything else. So they can't pin me down. I'm not corrupt. In all my years in UMNO, there's nothing they can show that I've abused my position. You know, they can't. So this is but as I said, I can live with this because it hurts in the beginning, but after a while, I get used to people calling me names. But yeah, I only left one party voluntarily.
PKR.
Yeah, but I still have good relations with them. You know, I'm not like Tunku Aziz. You see, I don't attack Anwar or No.
So you think that you can still work with PKR under
I
this
can
big
work,
umbrella?
I am still working with them. I'm very close with them still. You know, I attend Ceramah together with them, even before I joined the AP. So I have no hard feelings. No, to me it's just that I disagree about certain things at that time. I said, no. So it's a small matter to me, but people try to make it big by saying I left this. Somebody said I changed parties like a woman changed panties, but it's not true. I only changed once.
So you claim now you only changed once, but still, with all the name callings, all those people trying to discredit you, some people they might not know what you represent.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not saying I welcome those things, but in this internet world, in this day and age where everybody has an opinion, you have to live with this. Politicians must learn that there will be people who spread fake news. They don't make a big thing about it. Najib is trying to say that everything is fake news except whatever he says. Donald Trump's trying to do the same, but that's wrong. There are fake news. There are people who smear you on but as a leader, you should rise above that. You should stick to what's right and what's solid, what's factual. So I'm not saying it's a small matter, but it's something that you must deal with, and there's nothing to get excited about it.
Well, you have written on and giving advice to people on, there must be some essential skills to be involved in politics. Otherwise, you go and do put your effort in NGOs and do other things. Do you think after all these years in politics, you have acquired the essential skill to be a politician?
No, I've acquired certain skills, but there are certain skills I don't need to acquire. I don't want to acquire.
For instance?
No, I don't want to be a ruthless person. I don't think, which you may need in politics. There are all kinds of skills you require, but there are certain skills I don't need it. I've always maintained that there are things in this world that you want, but the end doesn't justify everything. So I'm quite happy taking certain skills that I think is useful for me as a person. I must be happy with myself, with my decision making. So there people may say, oh, you need skill A or skill B to go further, but I don't need to go further. I go at my own pace and what I believe in, because I think that's where you are. Because the moment you depart from yourself, then what are you there for? So I think I'm not a specialist in politics. I don't claim to know what is the right way, but I understand there are things people do, but I don't have to follow all of those.
But you have to agree that you can't change or save Malaysia single-handedly, right?
No, I'm not trying to change Malaysia single. I'm trying to change the way people think about issues.
Okay.
If I can influence them, because it's the people who can change this country, not the leader, not a single politician. But so long as the people just follow blindly, for so long as the people are not interested, so long as the people think, give up lah, we'll never progress. But so I think my role as someone in the public sphere, is to help the discourse, the discussion, the issues. And hopefully we can get to a point where you cannot have a successful democracy where citizens are not involved or involved in the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's just that you either have a dictatorship, people who control you, what to wear, what to eat, or you have a democracy, a more open society. But in a more open society, there's no choice. You have to sacrifice. The citizen must be active, and you must be able to do certain things together. So if I can contribute towards that, that's my success level. I mean, I measure success in a slightly probably non-conventional way.
So you're back in politics and you're thinking about influencing how people think. So would you actually run for election?
Oh yes. I think I am quite sure that I'll be given a seat,
Under DAP?
Yes.
You're quite sure?
Yeah.
Is this one of the reasons that why you joined DAP?
Yes. I'd say that if there's no election, maybe I wouldn't join, for example.
It's just mainly because of the timing?
No, not mainly, but it is one of the reasons. I joined the APP because I need a bigger platform for my views on democracy, on other issues. So I think they're suitable for me. But it is a factor that there's an election coming. So, yeah.
Ah, okay. That's very interesting. Okay. So you will run for the general election. So because then well, maybe some of your voters will think this guy, he has been in a few parties. We are not so sure about his ideology and stuff. How would you convince your voters?
Just like I've tried to convince you in the last 1 hour. I can only talk to them, you know. And if they find a better candidate, you know, they will vote for that candidate. So, you know, I can only do, as I said, what I can do, which is to talk, to explain, to argue, to persuade, you know. But at the end of the day, if the people want somebody else, I lose.
But just to, but you have to reckon that the political reality is there are also some problems within the opposition sides, right? Pakatan Harapan, whether it's a loose alliance and how is it going to move forward in the next general election. You don't care about all this.
It's not that I don't care, but I don't want to talk too much about that, because if I talk, then somebody will probably say, who is he to talk about it? I'm not a leader of the opposition. So the less I talk about the opposition, the better. But I am in spirit and in whatever I do, I support them all the way. Yeah.
Okay, actually, we do have a few questions coming from you, our audience. Let's start with one of it. Do you think economy or religious issue are the main concern of Malay voters?
Economy number one.
So they feel the pinch of it as well, like any one of us.
Of course.
We can't apply for BRIM, so we thought maybe that would feel a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I think the economic issue is always a very important issue, and I think especially in this one.
Yeah, there are a few questions. Maybe I will just ask all of it. Okay, then another one from an audience. His name is Heng. Do you think all the institutions are controlled by UMNO? What can the opposition party do to break this control?
Okay. This is again. I just want to make sure that I do not get misunderstood or that people say, he cannot talk on behalf of the opposition. He's a nobody. So. But I will answer the question anyway. In my personal view, we have first make a distinction between party and government. The opposition must accept that fundamental rule. Because when you come to power and you think government and party are the same, this is what you get. So if you accept that government is different, party is different, then you make rules to make sure that government institutions are run professionally. Ministry of Education or Jabatan Pendidikan will be run by educationists, not UMNO or not party men being put there. You make sure that the police are done professionally. You don't put somebody who protects the Prime Minister. When you appoint the Attorney General, you make sure that he's not a party person, but he's just a good lawyer and who got a strong sense of justice and who believes in public interest. So I believe the opposition will do things differently. To what extent, whether as much as I would like or whether as much as you would like, I don't know. But I think it's worth trying, the opposition, because we have to change this mindset, the system.
How would you think that money politics will change this whole thing that you're suggesting?
No, money politics is, let's put it this way, in every country, there will always be politicians who need money to promote their power and all that.
Yes.
But we can do something to control it, to regulate, to minimize it, And I think this is where institutions again count. If you have a very independent anti-corruption commission, if you have an independent police force, you have a press that is responsible and free. These are things that will make it more difficult for you to abuse your power. Because money politics is just abuse.
Yes.
So you cannot eliminate, of course, you cannot totally remove it in one blink of an eye, but if you believe that it's dangerous and it's harmful, then you set up institutions like this to make it less, to make leaders more scared of abusing their powers. So you need a free press, you need a good institutions like I've just described. I think that will help.
Okay. So another audience, Wai Han, actually, maybe you would have to help me to understand this question. Would it be a right decision to form another coalition, as it will have the same problem of exchanging political advantages?
No, we have to live in reality.
So there is always compromise
There
in
will always be
politics.
compromise in politics. But there are many types of compromise. If you compromise because you want to enrich yourself, that's another thing. If you want to compromise because you want to dominate one group against another, that's not acceptable. But if you compromise because that's the only way we can form an effective government, then you have to compromise. Because politics is always compromise, not just here, everywhere. So we cannot be skeptical just because we have seen Barisan National Coalition not working.
Yes.
We cannot then say, the other coalition were not working. This is where, as I said, the quality of our leaders, the people who we put up there, will determine to some extent how good or how bad this coalition will be. But if you are in agreement with core principles, then you can disagree and make compromise on other things. So I think that compromise is inevitable.
So if you look at the coalition, the opposition coalition that we have today, are they in agreement with the core principle?
Well, we don't have yet. We are trying to sort out past first. From what I have read, they may not be with the coalition. But when the Bersatu and Pakatan Harapan, I think they are already talking, I believe, but they haven't come to the seat area yet. But I think the core principles, I believe so. I believe that we have agreed that there's need to check and balance. The institution must be strong, independent, yes. And just because some of these people are from UMNO before, like Tun Mahathir, for example, people say, I think he probably realized some of the errors of his time. Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. DAP, their goal is to pursue a Malaysia for all Malaysians. But Bersatu is a party that it's only open to Bumiputras.
So is MIC, or open to Indian.
Okay.
So is MCA.
Yeah, that's why. The BN coalition. So
yeah,
most of us don't think that
you cannot judge a coalition by the membership of a party. You can't, because the Dayak party in Sarawak also have Dayak. That's the reality of our country. It doesn't matter, like I said before in my book and my blog, sometimes in politics you think it's convenient to get everybody of your own ethnic group and community first, but you cannot. You must manage it well, because then if you don't, you become a racist party.
Yeah.
So you should not get into that, and I don't think Bersatu. Well, I hope, again, I'm not Bersatu, but I'm sure they will not be UMNO-like, They may be in some traces of UMNO in them, but they have suffered themselves, so they should know from experience that you cannot have an UMNO model. So I believe that, in a new environment, when they are together with DAP and PKR and all that,
there will be influence.
Yes, of course. There will be some give and take. This is all politics about,
Very hopeful, Dato.
Yeah. I'm always hopeful. Yeah.
Okay, so now, next question. This audience, his name is Man Super. As you mentioned, you're a typical Malay. Could you please tell us, what do Malay want?
Well, I believe I'm a typical Malay. Malays want good economic situation in the country. They want jobs.
Strong ringgit.
They want strong ringgit. They cannot have petrol price increase every 3 months. No, this is what Malays want. Malays want a job, good salary. Malays want to have if you live in a flat in Kampung Kerinci, or you live in a flat in Cheras, the flat's working, and you go to the hospital, you get medicine that you don't do, that work, that is effective. If you go to school, you don't have to contribute to the school to buy A4 paper like some of them have to do now. Malays want all that. Malays want all that, just like everybody else. They want a better life. Yeah.
So that's mutual.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next question. Singkang, how can opposition convince the Malay that the non-Malays do not intend to challenge Malay rights? The non-Malays merely wanting the country to progress on the right path,
Oh, the Malays. This issue has been going on for some time. I think it's not difficult to convince the Malays in the present climate, because what is making life difficult for them today is not the Chinese.
Okay.
So they now realize that giving Malay so-called rights on paper doesn't mean anything, because all it means is that UMNO leaders will benefit from it. So they know. So it's not difficult to tell them. It's not difficult to them that the Chinese have nothing to do with 1MDB. The Chinese have nothing to do with the price of petrol. The Chinese have nothing to do, or may not have the real source of the problem, may not be the source of the problem. I think it's not difficult. And more Malays see that now. Yes.
You think so?
Of course. That's why I'm confident.
Even with the Kelantanese, your Kelantanese?
Yes, of course. The Kelantanese are smart people.
But, they are with PAS.
Yeah, because they've been in prison.
In prison?
Yeah, in prison. By the ideology, by fear, by religious edicts, but they'll get out of it, of course. I believe that humanity is stronger than all these things. Yes.
Okay, enough about politics and Malays.